To 3D resin, since I've been frequently asked on Facebook, I will explain the basics of resin that will allow you to know how to make better 3D nail arts, but not necessarily how to do fake nails since it's a bit different. If you already know how to make fake nails with resin, it will be easier for you to make a 3D nail art. It will allow you to know the approximate amount of liquid needed on your brush, but there's no problem if you've never tried it. It is very different since 3D is nail art, and fake nails in resins are just artificial nails. It's not the same thing. It doesn't matter if you've never tried resin before. Even if you've got 10 years of practice of making fake nails with resin, you might have some difficulties to make a 3D resin nail art, so I will explain to you the basics of 3D nail art. 3D resin can be made on all types of materials. You can use it to decorate objects, on fake nails, natural nails, meaning directly on a base of normal polish, or on semi-permanent polish, and on almost any material that you like. The resin holds very well, the design won't peel off like with 3D gel. 3D gel is very thick gel, so that works like resin, but the only thing is that you'll obtain a very flat result. The result will be less embossed than 3D resin. I've tested the stickiness. It's true that the 3D gel tends to peel off more than resin. When you've applied some resin on your nail and it peels off, it will remove a piece of your natural nail. Now I'm going to talk to you about the products needed. To make 3D resin, you'll need this liquid. It's called the monomer. If you buy it, you'll see that it has a very strong smell, and some brands smell really bad. There are brands that smell less than others, and that's why we often hear that resin can damage the nails and that it is toxic. Of course, if you smell that all day long, or if you work with it all day long, it can make your head spin. It's like alcohol or solvent. It smells quite bad. It's not that pleasant. But it's not that toxic either and won't damage your nails. However, it depends on the quality of the product. If you buy cheap products on eBay, don't expect to get high quality. These products are usually made in China and there's no warranty, so I would advise you to buy a good liquid found in your local shop. You can use famous brands. I've listed them on my blog. I used the Cutenails brand mainly, or the EF exclusive. I love both. I also use sometimes the Tammy Taylor. You won't have any problems with any of these three brands. As I said, don't buy cheap products found on strange websites. Choose good quality ones, especially if you make 3D designs. A container like this one will last you several months. You also have the smaller version, which is not too bad when you're starting with it. It's really nice, and these kinds don't cost too much. I don't know the price, but it's not expensive. So that's it about the liquid. Next is the powder. They're available in small containers like this. You can also find them in larger sizes. There's the Cutenails and the EF exclusive. I love to work with these brands. It's good to know that there are powders that are excellent to use on fake nails. For example, I love using the Tammy Taylor to rebuild the nails in resin. I've tested it for 3D though, but it's not that good. The flowers are flabby and the outlines are not well defined. Maybe because the powder is a bit thicker. For 3D resin, use a suitable powder, but I won't be able to advise you on the brands since I haven't tried them all. However, the Cutenails and the EF exclusive are both really nice. You can check on other blogs where girls do 3D. If you like the result, it's that their powder is good. Now for the brushes, there are several sizes. This one is quite big, as you can see. I usually use bigger brushes to make bigger designs or when I need to take a big amount of resin or to flatten and extend my design. You can find smaller ones, there are smaller and bigger ones, but these are my favorites. If you want to buy them, you'll find the references in the description below. I use them both. I might be using the small one more frequently, since it's really nice to make small designs with it and when you have to work on small surfaces like short nails, but if you have to work on stiletto nails, you will need a big brush. For small designs, this one is ideal. It has a very sharp end and that allows you to flatten the petals. Now let's explore the technical side. I love this nail liquid from Tammy Taylor. It's heavy and I like it. The small glass bottle is cheaper. To pour the liquid without any mess, just pour the liquid on your brush. It won't spill and you won't mess up your table. And to know the good amount to pour, dip your brush to let it soak in the liquid, then wipe it twice or thrice, according to the amount of liquid you want to dip in the powder. You should not dip your brush like I'm about to do, that is straight into the powder. The small drop of resin must be on the side. To do so, I will make a line in the powder and crush the brush at the same time. Do not work the powder when it's too liquid, otherwise it will make an ugly and liquid thing, as you can see. It will make a flabby flower. To avoid this and to know the ideal amount, you have to try and try again until you find it. It's like working with acrylic paint, it's all about the feeling and practice. Here's a quick look at the gradient base that I've made. I've speeded up the video since it shouldn't be made on natural nails and because it's not the aim of today's video. Basically, with a normal round resin brush, I have applied small amounts of colored resin that were very liquid and I have strengthened the sides to obtain a gradient from the darkest to the lightest. I apply the small drops of resin one on top of each other. I wait for it to dry a little bit between each drop. Then you can use sparkling resin. This one is from Nails, it's so beautiful. I apply a small drop at the bottom, wait for it to dry slightly, then I stretch the resin to make the gradient, just like a polish gradient. You can also make your own resin. To do so, you'll need clear acrylic resin, then mix it with mica purple pigment. I soak my brush and apply it like the previous one. This is for those who work with resin at 100%. I don't do this on natural nails. Then I have filled my resin in a nice shape to make it prettier. To make the 3D design, I soak my brush in the white ball, then I apply the ball. Instantly I shape it like a drop with the tip of my brush. I wait for it to mattify just a little, but it will depend on the brand of your liquid and of the room's temperature. In my case, I've just waited approximately 3 seconds. Let me show you again. I apply the ball, I stretch it instantly, I wait for a few seconds, then with the tip of my brush, I will cut this drop into 2 to obtain this petal shape. Then immediately, since resin needs to be worked fast, I will crush all the sides of this drop to make this petal's shape. When making 3D, it's important to know that you should never work with the tip of your brush. If you do so, you will ruin your design. Always work with the body of the brush, the largest part of it. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that I'm not working with the tip. The brush stays in the middle of my design. I make another flower, and this time I'm going to use the big brush because those are very big petals. I divide it into 2 and crush the parts of my design. First I crush with my brush in a 45 degrees angle. Then to really flatten the design, I put the brush horizontally and I press on it. Now I use the smallest brush to make the same design, in between the big ones. I make another drop and wait for a few seconds. I divide it and I press on the brush in a 45 degrees angle. Then I do it horizontally. As you can see, the resin is not annoying to wear since it's rather flat. There is also 40, but this is another thing. For the finish, I apply a normal mattifying top coat. Never put a shiny one over resin or it will ruin your work. And all around, I'm gonna apply a semi-permanent polish to soak off the gel. But on natural nails, I put a normal shiny top coat. I have also added white acrylic paint over the petals and lots of rhinestones in the middle. I hope that this video taught you a lot of things. Don't hesitate to watch it several times as I've probably talked way too fast. That's all. See you next week for another video. I'm gonna do a new